Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your January 2025 forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. I hope you're doing great. Apollo's right behind us. He's getting better every day, so thank you guys for your love and support. Let's get started. If you're brand new, this reading is going to help you navigate twists, turns, opportunities, and challenges, and I like to get things started with channeled messages. Today, as I was tuning into your sign in particular, what I saw was someone flipping a coin. And I just kind of watched as in slow motion the coin was going around and I saw heads, tails, etc. And to me, this is a representation, first of all, of an Ace of Pentacles, so an opportunity, but it also basically represents indecision. Because if you think of a coin toss, it's usually because you're not sure what to do. So it's like heads or tails, and you pick a direction. I would like to encourage you to take a deep breath and instead of flipping the coin, see what your heart and your mind is pointing you towards. There's usually something that just feels right, that feels either easier, more compelling, more fun, whatever it is that kind of tips the scales in your favor or tips the decision towards that. You don't need a coin to decide. This actually is going to be like the first exercise of your own intuition this month, and you need to trust that. You can ask for input as well, but let's not just leave it up to chance. It's so much more powerful to decide, and that's really what Spirit was showing me there. The two sides of the coin represent the two sides of a story, or that there might be something beneath the surface that requires a little bit more attention or discernment. So much like I said, you could talk to someone else. You can also research. Basically, don't take things on the surface. Always go a little bit deeper. Trusting your intuition is a big part of that, but research is also key. And let me see if there's anything else in real time that's coming through. It's really just, I hear the guide saying, you've got what it takes. You've got this, basically. So trust yourself, and let's see if we can't find where that opportunity is knocking as we shuffle the cards and see what's coming through. As always, let's clear our energy and our thoughts before we begin. I like to use the sun as a meditation point of reference. So go ahead and imagine that the sun is rising and you feel the beautiful radiant rays of sun wrapping around your body like a cocoon of light. And release any thoughts that you might be holding on to. Just call in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and of course connect to your highest good as well and your higher self so that we can begin. All right, let's see what this month has in store for you. By the way, I'll be changing up things a little bit this reading, so stay flexible and let's see where it takes us, trying some new things. How cool is that we have the Ace of Pentacles as the second card here? So love a synchronicity like that. You have two aces, so two sides to the coin. It's all starting to make sense. Ending on the Ten of Pentacles, which is a very fruitful card. Literally, we see fruit, or yeah, the strawberries on that. Also the Wheel of Fortune here in the corner. Let's get started here with the Catalyst card. The card came through in the reverse position. If we flip it upright though so we can read it, that word support really jumps out. And what we see in this illustration is it's important right now to build a network of people, maybe even places that you can go. So this could also be resources. It could be a network of information, getting all of this firm foundation in place so that you have something that you can build from. Kind of like I always think of Four of Wands as being very nice and foundational and sturdy, but we're getting some of that here as well. Reach out and ask for some advice or some support if you need it. This is going to help you think more clearly. And I think what could be happening for some of you is you're entering into a brand new chapter. So if you're a student and you graduated, it's a new world, right? You're now focusing less on expanding knowledge and more on producing something. If you've retired, it's about what else are you going to do in your life that creates a sense of joy and purpose. If you recently moved from a physical location to another, it's about putting down that sort of figurative community rooting here, basically, where networking, I should say. So however you want to see it, however you want to kind of interpret this, it's really about getting connected, feeling like you have a place or a community where you can plug in and quote unquote fit in on some levels. And it takes time to build that. So I am acknowledging that some of you feel uprooted or feel a little less grounded than usual. Whatever you need or want to do in this moment to reestablish that sense of solid ground, that's the first message. All right. I love that this came through. We're just going to quickly look at the cards here. So we have the Hermit in reverse coming out of your shell. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which I saw the flipping of the coin. Now it makes sense. It's going to, it's going to really lead you into a positive trajectory here with that Ten of Pentacles, but it requires action. So this is ideation and this is action. We have the Wheel of Fortune also showing a nice shift when it comes to time, energy, and money. And what really is required here is for some of you bouncing back. This is a second chance. The Judgment card in this deck, it's actually called out as forgiveness. It's getting past a setback or when realizing that when one door closes, something else is opening up. Let's start with your center card, the Hermit. So as I said, some of you might just be finishing this period of introspection and learning like students, or you've done a lot of work on yourself and there's like a figurative graduation or retirement. You're like, I'm done with that. Let's start something new. So the Hermit now is also making peace with the fact that they may need to step into the spotlight because a reversed Hermit is saying, enough now, this is done. It's hard to let go of something that maybe comprised your everyday schedule in life for a long time. We want to keep that sort of around us like a blanket because it's predictable. January is a moment in time where you're basically being encouraged to both uproot yourself and then find a place to transplant yourself. Both things have to happen in order for growth. Think of a plant. When it outgrows the pot that it's in, it either is going to get root bound and stop growing, or you plant it in something new. And interestingly enough, when we look at bonsai, that's how they keep it so small. They trim the roots, they put it in a small pot, they trim the growth, they prune it, and it's not allowed to grow. We want the opposite for January. We want to put you in a place where your roots can spread and the sky is the limit. Once you start to feel that sense that I can do this, I have what it takes, then we have the Ace of Pentacles coming through. And remember what I said earlier, that it's so much stronger not to leave things up to chance, but rather to say, I choose to do this. I'm ready to do this. And not just that, you're going to show that you have the wisdom and skills to do it too, but you have to believe that. Once you do, other people will see that and say, of course, yes, you are. I can see it. I can sense it. You've got something. You've got that X factor. Ace of Pentacles can also be someone coming to you, offering you an opportunity. So new job. There could be someone in your life that's interested in you and they come over and say, hey, do you want to be friends or do you want to go out or something of that nature? This can be you also deciding to reach for something that you want. The hand can go in both directions. It can be reaching or it can be giving. So again, deciding what it is that you want and go for it. This is the month to do it. We don't even need to go to a final question. This is the time. This is like a light bulb or a light switch that's being switched on. It's just a matter of you saying, okay, I see it, let's do it. All right, in the deep past, this is the most important thing. This is the karmic lesson and energy that's coming forth here. So we have Judgment, and in this deck, instead of showing souls rising up from the dead, they're just showing the phoenix rising from the ashes. And this inner child coming through saying, I think I can do it. I think I'm ready. So you have this opportunity to reinvent yourself, to walk down a path that you haven't traveled before, and it's really invigorating. Look at all the fire in this energy, or in this particular card. So I feel like if you just surrender this thought process of, well, what if this happens? Or what are they going to think? Or can I do it? Things could really start to get exciting. Now, for some of you, you're forgiving yourself for a mistake in the past, or not sort of going after it. Maybe there was someone that was knocking on the door and offering you an opportunity and you waited too long. The door is opening again, or you can open a door on your own this month. We see another ace here. So just continue to move forward, move on. Don't fixate on the past. That's already, it's almost as if you called in that lesson so that you wouldn't ever have to make it again. Moving on to your recent past here. So we have the Nine of Cups. The card is reversed, and this is about making a decision in January not to go to an emotional extreme. So in the upright position, it's a celebratory card, like job well done, let's have some fun. This is like a birthday, a graduation, something like that, where it's really just kind of like embracing all the positives. Best day ever. In the reverse, sometimes it can feel like one setback can be the worst day ever, or one piece of negative feedback kind of impedes your ability to see all the progress done. So what we want to try to do is bring it back to this sort of upright position and walk the center and allow ourselves to experience highs and lows without losing track of the GPS of what's next. The biggest trigger or the biggest challenge this month is just that, though, emotional highs and lows. So some of these things will be out of your control. There could be something going on with a friend or family member. There could be something going on in the world. And what we want to do is just make sure that we feel that sense of grounding, which is here. If you're grounded, you're good. You know that you know who you are, you know how you feel, and you can kind of observe things from, it's almost like a bird's eye perspective, so that you're not so in the throes of emotion that you lose your head, basically. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to focus on this. I think that's it. Whenever we do get Three of Cups or Nine of Cups, I would say make sure that you are taking time to derive joy from the little successes. We don't always have to build up to this, apex, this, climax, because sometimes when you do achieve what you're wanting to do, it's anticlimactic. It's not everything that you thought it would be. You realize it's each step of the journey that is the fulfilling part, because you're learning, you're showing that you can do this, you're realizing your skills, and you're starting to meet people and expand the knowledge and all of that stuff. So it's the journey, not the destination. And a really great day or a really bad day, it does not have to define you. There's so much more than those extremes. Let's avoid extremes in January. In your crowning position, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and I'm not surprised. There's so many successful cards here, from that Ace of Pentacles to the Wheel of Fortune to the Ten of Pentacles. Somebody needs to be bringing this into order, and it's you. But it's all about a recalibration in your general perspective. If we look at the traditional card, you'll notice there's a little rabbit in the corner, and she's really focused on what's in front of her. The rabbit's missing from this illustration, and whenever this card is reversed, it's already saying slow down. So one very clear message this month is it's not how much, that's the rabbit, it's not how quickly, it's how completely and how fulfilled you are in the process of doing something completely and successfully that matters. So don't put unnecessary deadlines on yourself. Moreover, nurture yourself. Everything that we see in this card, where it basically represents love and abundance, and you can see it even more here. She's really looking at that with care. This is your moment to be the inner child that this card can also represent, needing to be nurtured. So this is second only to the Empress card when it comes to the ability to birth, nurture, or create. And so with this card reversed, it's saying, take this time right now to love yourself. This inner child in the deep past is coming through for a reason, and we already get a big cue here. Forgive yourself, maybe forgive someone else. Some sort of letting go is necessary in order to liberate yourself and to be the phoenix rising from the ashes here, okay? A reversed Queen of Pentacles often seeks education. So some of you may have started a program, but you didn't finish it. So this could be a chance to say, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take some of my resources, which is time, energy, and money, invest it in myself, and connect with that inner hermit and really finish what I've started. Some of you have just completed this, and now you're thinking, what do I want to do with that? there's a choice at hand, a flipping of the coin, but we're not going to flip it. We're going to decide, I want this for myself, or I choose this because. Get really clear on who you are and what you want, and don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to go for it, okay? In the near future, we have the Seven of Wands. And the encouragement here is to work smarter, not to push yourself to a point of exhaustion. So this card is reversed, and it's basically saying delegation is important, discernment is important. You can even defend yourself and say this is too much, this isn't realistic. She has the ability to deflect, and then she can focus on what matters most. If you're in a leadership position, or if you want to be considered for a leadership position, one of the things that you have to do is pull yourself out of this constant sort of like, it's like you're in the weeds, right? You're too far down and you have to kind of step up so you can be Six of Wands energy. Or if we take it to the next one where it's like production, it's Eight of Wands. But you have to sort of like separate yourself from too many obligations and too many things going on. And you can do it. It just requires, like I said, discernment and the ability to say no. So feel free to push back on things. The traditional stance on this card is a little defensive. I like that she's just saying no. That in and of itself is super powerful. And she's using that other wand here to say, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to focus on this. Or why don't you take this? So also come forward with not just a point of view, but like a solution. We can't do this, but we can do this. Or if you want me to do this, I need your assistance in this direction. Come forward with a why and a how, and then people are more inclined to listen to whatever it is that you're trying to do, and they'll especially respect the no or the boundaries that you might be setting in place. And that's the final piece on this. Having good boundaries in your life is more important now than ever. Why, you ask? Because of these two cards. This is you, the Wheel of Fortune, and this is what you're bringing forth, the Ten of Pentacles. There is so much to love about the Wheel of Fortune. We can just separate for a moment the financial aspects of it. Much like the World card, this is a cyclical shift. So suffice it to say, the one big thing that I'm seeing for all Pisces in January is this chance to change the direction, change the cycle, to reset, because Judgment plus the Wheel of Fortune, it's a complete reset, actually. And you don't have to repeat history. That's the big takeaway here. Whatever was, let it be. Let it be in the past. Now it's a new choice. It's a new you, and you're coming through with this, hopefully this new sense of self-worth. If you can see it, you can do it. And if you can believe it, you can do it. It's just a matter of owning it. Ownership is a big part of this too. Increases in financial stability, I would say also resources in your life, new people coming forth, because that is also 10 of Pentacles. So this could be, I was talking about the network, new professional network, new social network, and possibly new sources of revenue. So for those of you that are trying to start your own business or just trying to be more successful, we see different lines of revenue coming forth. And then cyclically speaking, it can be 10 to 12 months that we're seeing this growth, this change, and this movement. And this comes through as you, representing you. There are three pivotal cards here, actually. This is where your head's at, and it's about investing in yourself. This is how you're showing up, which is worthy. And this is the result, the 10 of Pentacles. It hinges on forgiveness, and it hinges on reinvention. But we then have the two aces coming forth, where there might actually be more than one opportunity that's knocking, and that could also be some of the challenge. And that's why you have to really be picky and create a schedule and maybe work with others. That's the 10 of Pentacles too. What's going on in the environment? Possibly the first challenging card. There may be someone around you that doesn't want to see you move in this new direction. Or you could be even wondering, can I do this? Or why is this happening? So we have, just looking at the table here, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. The Four of Cups is kind of interesting because it offers a hidden ace. There could actually be a third one here. That fourth cup is like an ace that the universe is giving you. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, you actually see it kind of like floating, sometimes being handed to the person, and it's a recalibration moment. Four and Five of Cups are both that way. So the Five of Cups is usually mourning. The Four of Cups is impatience, disappointment, or frustration. Often because you're comparing yourself to someone else, or you're still in the old way of thinking. So we have these three chalices kind of raining down on her, but there's an opportunity in front of her. So you don't have to keep thinking or feeling the way that you did, but it does require movement, and that is what this card is about. So it may be a matter of moving up, moving on, or moving out. Once you decide to do that, then you find your power here. This is like Excalibur coming forth, or He-Man or She-Ra when they take the sword and they move forward. And they literally say, like, I have the power. So you do have the power and the potential and the capacity to do it, but it requires belief and follow through on your part. Hopes, fears, opportunities. There could be someone that calls you up or calls you out and says, hey, what do you think? Or are you ready? All that it requires is an affirmative answer. Yes, I am, or this is what I want. And then you could have two different opportunities that are coming forth because of the hard work that you've done on yourself in the past, because of the hard work that you're putting into current opportunities, because of the fact that you just finally maybe feel worthy. Or the universe is tired of you sort of being stuck, and it's saying, here you go. I'm going to kind of shock you into cognition that this is possible. And that's what we see here. So the Ace of Swords, of course, is connected to communication, to writing. Put it in writing. Get it in writing. That's a really important piece here. If somebody promises or says or expresses something, say yes, and show me the dotted line. Put it in a contract. Let's go. And if you are a creative person, rolling up your sleeves and getting to work, it can be like hands-on work. It can be you writing things or sketching things out. And then what we see in the outcome is generally very good receipt of it, the Ten of Pentacles. I'll pull the traditional one up in a second, but one thing that I do like about this one is we see that you're never too young and you're never too old to achieve the success or the goal that you need and you want and you deserve. We see that everything that you're doing this month is fruitful. And the other thing here is, again, the networking, the community building, all of that is really starting to pay off in this moment in time. As promised, here's your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. One thing that I love about this is that we also see all the different energies that are present. So we see loyalty in the form of the dog. We see birthing energy because of the children. We see, again, that you're never too young, never too old. And then we also see the Tree of Life overprinted on top of this. So one thing that I'm also seeing is that if you transplant yourself, or if you allow yourself to go somewhere where you can truly feel supported and maybe more freedom or liberation, then the tree starts to grow. And that's why it's important to look at this traditional one, because that pattern is the Tree of Life. So I'm really emboldened and excited about the decisions that you're making and the opportunities that are in front of you. Don't lose track of what's important. This can also be marriage. And of course, this is a solid foundation of time, energy, and money as well. So you're headed in that direction. Find people that really are as committed as you are. And maybe the one thing that you can really work on to attract that is your own sense of coming through on things like your accountability, your level of commitment, and keep doing the work on yourself. It really will pay off in the long run. Let's take this now and go into the expanded forecast. This is your health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. So in health, you have Go Dark, which is a really interesting and bold card to come through. What many of you may need to do is to pull back from anything that creates distraction. This is the Four of Cups energy for many of you, where it's a person that may not understand why you're doing something. It could also kind of be like turning the light off on something in the past that no longer serves you. So we could look at it from that sort of perspective, where going dark is just creating some space in order to allow yourself to grow, to explore, to heal, and to better know yourself. Generally speaking, it's the Hermit card. And this card reversed is saying don't spend too much time there, but spending a few days just kind of getting to the heart of the matter, that is probably one of the best things that you can do in this period of time. Just a few high-level notes with respect to health. Many of you have come through a wake-up call. Don't beat yourself up on however long it took to get there. Just embrace it. Realize also if there's been things going on in your family, it can stop with you. If people just didn't live in a healthy or self-nurturing manner, that's what this card is all about. Resetting that sort of ancestral, and not just that, but like familial trajectory. And now you get to choose your own path, right? If you are deciding to do something new, don't push yourself too much. Sometimes the Seven of Wands can lead to pulled muscles or injuries because we get too overzealous. Emotions are running high. Don't deny yourself whatever you're feeling. Get the help that you need if you can't sort of find a way to manage it on your own. Support is everything. This is a time, again, to nurture yourself, and this includes getting enough rest, eating well. One thing that you want to avoid is extremes, overworking, overeating, over anything. It's basically everything in moderation, and that's what this card represents. And then looking at the environment, this is a person or a place that you want to kind of extract yourself from, because there's a lack of clarity here, and sometimes you get pulled into someone else's narrative. Otherwise, I like what I see here, and it's a pretty manageable month overall. Let's move on to wealth. Your oracle card here is Higher Heart Activation. And one of the keys to success here is this first one, which says dropping shields. Sometimes we put up this sort of like defensive stance and like build a wall around us that people can't see our true vulnerability, our true self, and it's difficult to connect. So yes, it's important to have boundaries. We talked about that, but if you're afraid to let anything come through, you're going to miss out on those two aces. So you're going to have to pick and choose when to open up, and also avoid the perfectionist tendencies. Things don't have to be perfect. Show people that you have a sense of humor, that you can make a mistake and rebound from it. Perfection is overrated. The other thing here, divine love. Really, truly love that which you are connected to and that you're doing. So like, if you can combine your passion with your work, then it doesn't feel like work. Then you start to get, you're happier, you're more successful, it's easier to work with other people. And your heart is healed. This is also just about forgiving yourself for any mistakes that you might have made with money, with investments, with your own path. Today marks a turning point, and this is a chance for you to really start something new and exciting. Speaking of that, I want to take a different approach here as we're looking at wealth. Rather than getting mired down in all the cards which we've already covered, I'm going to pull one for each of the categories. I think this is going to help us stay more focused and give you a clear direction for each of these categories. So as you know, I like to look at multiple sections here as we're going through wealth. I focus on those who currently have a job or are working for someone else. Then I look at those that are self-employed. Then I look at anybody that might be job seeking, then students, and then retirees. And so I'll just read the one card for each of those, and that's going to make this a little more succinct, I believe. All right. So if you are currently working for somebody, you have a chance to step up. Emperor energy really is showing the capacity for you to show your leadership potential. And also, it's a chance for you just to say, hey, I'm really interested in this. Since you got two aces this month, reach for something that you want. I love the constellation on this. Some of you may have a Capricorn placement as well, but what it's really showing is your ability to chart it out, map it out, show them, say, hey, not only can I do this, but I've done it before. Or if they're like, oh, I'm not sure if this is something that's possible, point to a real life example, and then say, I'm willing to go for this. I'm willing to take charge. So stepping up to the plate, showing your leadership abilities, and really being accountable as well. Okay, you've got what it takes this month, and because we saw the Ten of Pentacles in the outcome, you also have the ability to be seen and rewarded, again, with the Wheel of Fortune, too, showing up for you. Very, very positive energy. All right, let's move on to those that have their own company or work for themselves. So the Sun card in reverse. Sometimes you forget that you're the boss, that you can change the rules, that you can adjust things a little bit. So go ahead and exercise your creative control. Let go of something. I mentioned perfectionist tendencies. The Sun in reverse is something that needs to be birthed, released, or launched. Something is not just done, but it might be getting overdone. Or you might need to pass it on to someone else to finish it up. Your part is done in this, and it's time to release. The Sun is one of the most powerful and positive cards in the deck, but one of the things that's required for it to truly be activated and truly be effective is a sense of ownership. Again, just kind of like what we were just talking about, feeling like I've got this, I can do this, it's all going to work out. And ultimately, with this, I talked about working smarter with the Seven of Wands. There might be something that you can also divest or sell or release so that you can focus on what matters most in front of you, that ace in the center, okay? So discernment, I think, is the most important thing. For those of you that are job seeking, we have the Knight of Pentacles coming through. What I'm really paying attention to on this is the coin in front of his glasses there. And it's about seeing and knowing. Like I said, let's not leave things up to chance. Instead, really know that when you apply for something, that this is the job. Don't just cast the widest net possible. Spend a lot of time tweaking the CV, the letter, the application process, whatever it might be, so that you're not wasting too much time trying to apply for everything under the sun. Really focus on the ones where you think you can make the biggest impact. This is, of course, connected to movement and moving. So if there's a job opportunity that requires a move, just kind of weigh out the options, but it does look like that could be advantageous, and it does look like you can make something happen. And some of you may even be deciding to do something entrepreneurial, because I'm looking at this, and that's so far that's been a common theme here with the Emperor and the Sun and this very kind of focused night. This is a month where if you can't find it in the environment, you might be able to create it and do something for yourself, because knights fight for what they want or seek it out, okay? For those that are students, get some rest. The Four of Swords in reverse is just showing a lack of this, which is rest, recalibration, and it's also just, again, the theme of letting go. If there was something that you didn't do to your liking in this past semester, you didn't pass a class, you could have done better with this, or you missed an opportunity for an internship or whatever, things come around. And this month, you have new opportunities that are coming through. Put that chapter to rest, take care of yourself, and know that tomorrow is a new day, okay? But definitely self-care is so important. We don't want you to get sick. And for those of you that are retired, we see a lot of people tugging at your time and energy. And you can see that in the multi-generational Ten of Pentacles. Make sure that it's reciprocated. Let's put it that way. When you're retired, it's not always about getting paid, but the payment can be a sense of fulfillment. Or is the person listening to me? Because as we look at the different phases of life, once you're retired, especially if you're in your latter years, it's about making each day higher quality, because the time that's left is more important because there's not as much necessarily. So you really want to focus on not wasting time and energy on people, places, or things that aren't receptive, appreciative, and fulfilling. So that's my takeaway there. Saying no and finding balance. Financially, this is okay. It's a reminder not to overextend yourself as well, okay? We're going to take a similar approach now as we go into love and relationships. Interestingly enough, we have a message around nurturing yourself, which of course we got here in the Queen of Pentacles, who was reversed. So now more than ever, it's important to make sure that, just like I was talking about with students and retirees, that you're not overextending, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're resting. And if there's something that you want to do, that you're getting the support, you're finding the support in your life so that that can happen. And maybe getting out and changing things up a little bit, changing the environment could also be helpful. We're going to do the same thing here in love. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the 3 different categories that I look at. And again, this is going to help me from constantly going through the Celtic Cross, and this is going to give you like one succinct message for each. All right, so looking at those that are in a relationship, looking at those who are single and looking, and then finally for those that are single and happy. All right, very interesting. All right, we're going to start off first with those of you that are currently in a relationship. Honesty is so important. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, and that's basically about making sure that you're truthful with yourself and you're truthful with your partner. And if there's anything that comes to the surface that You make sure that you understand both sides of the coin, since I saw the flipping of the coin. And then once you've seen that, just decide moving forward, honesty, integrity, transparency. There could be someone in your life, in your family, that is more the source of the Seven of Swords. They're trying to kind of create a wedge or separation. So call that out. Wherever the Seven of Swords is, make sure that you call it out and that you move beyond that. But I will say this, if it's something that's cyclical, if it's something that happens time and again, then this is the wake-up call that I talked about before. And it's important in this moment to make sure that the honesty and the integrity is coming forth. Other than that, I really like the spread, especially with the Ten of Pentacles and the two Aces. So if you can get past that, past the fear of not saying something because you're afraid of what someone will think, I feel like you'll be on solid ground. If anyone, you should trust the partner, right? So this is a time to really lean into that and lead with integrity. Otherwise, the cards are fairly good. And I feel like one of the biggest stresses this month actually could be financial, and trying to figure out what to do with money or with property or with your time. And so be honest. That's the other thing. It's not always about a lie. It's sometimes just not stating your true desire. Sometimes omission can be the Seven of Swords. So if it's something, if you want something, say it. And if you don't, also say that. Speak up. Okay? Moving on to those of you that are seeking love in this moment, it's really the time for self-care. The Ten of Swords in reverse is saying there's a little bit more of recalibration to be done. But it is a rebounding card, and we do see that you're nearly there. Forgiving yourself is often the hardest, but the most important piece. It takes a lot of time sometimes to forgive someone else, and it may not happen sometimes in a lifetime, but you have to work at least at forgiving yourself before moving on. Otherwise, it's the same things that come through time and again. You do have options. I do see one person that's really serious because of the Ten of Pentacles. And then I see another person that maybe wants a little bit more than you can give. So before you can go down either of those routes, it's important for you to kind of get into the overflowing Ace of Cups, where you have more than enough. So initially, the focus should be on self-care, self-love. Queen of Pentacles coming forth. Again, she's reversed. So what I'm seeing there is there's someone that really wants to settle down quickly. So if you're not there just yet, take some time. I think it's important to give yourself at least half of the month. Lots of 10s coming through, so at least until the 10th of the month, and things will start to get better. And I think that gets us a lot closer to Mars coming out of retrograde, so communication should be easier. For those that are single and happy, good for you. We have the King of Swords coming through, and King of Swords in reverse is saying, use this moment to take action and to set into motion your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a look now at the Destiny card. We have Kuan Yin, enlightened action. It says, choose compassion, move forward with grace. She is so nicely connecting with your karmic message, which is forgiveness. Compassion and forgiveness go hand in hand. Once you do that, once you activate that, I feel like it's almost smooth sailing, no matter what it is that you want to focus on right now. Okay? Now we have one more card. This can be anything that you need some insight in. So go ahead and focus on that final question, and then we'll wrap up for today. Okay? So this is a yes to a yes or no, but it's also an acknowledgement that things are going to start moving very quickly. I think one of the biggest challenges in January is keeping up with demands of others, keeping up with your schedule, with just the general pace of things. So make sure that you've done all the work prior to this to find that firm foundation, to have a support network, and that's going to be friends, family. It's going to be other people in your life that you can trust and lean on. That is so essential in this moment to make sure that you can go the distance and make the most of it. Because you've got these two aces, there's a lot coming through opportunity-wise. And this month, I want you to be able to identify those opportunities and go for it. So overall, it's a pretty exciting month, Pisces. Keep me posted in the comments below. Let me know what resonated. Let me know if you enjoyed the slight shift this month to give you a little bit more razor focus. And I just want to say thank you. Ways to show support here are through subscribing, liking, and again, commenting. You can give me a follow on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. No extra characters, no other accounts. You can go to my website for more information. Before I go to that, just a quick reminder, I'm also on Blue Sky. My handle there is nicholasashbaugh.com. My website, in case you need any links, is just that, nicholasashbaugh.com. If you'd like to give back with super stickers, super chat, or memberships, thank you in advance. It allows me to do more things like podcasts and special videos, so I just want to say thanks in advance. And a quick reminder, I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages. Be smart, be safe. Let me know if you see any imposters out there. And that, my friends, is everything. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. And thank you especially for giving me some time to heal, and Apollo as well. We're both feeling better. You can see him sunbathing in the background there behind me. I hope you're all doing well, that you have a fantastic new year, and I'll see you soon.